Welcome to Zest, the demo. Zest was built by founders with 20 plus years in this industry, MSP, IT service, and all the products out there at the time before Zest was created was looked at and used. They looked at them all. Zest was born out of frustration because the products were bloated enterprise and did not really serve the MSP. There were complicated solutions. They keep you from growth and stability and peace. And really too much time spent on tools, too much time putting in all the things you need to do to set it up and then to maintain. And so the founders of Zest wanted MSPs to spend more time on customers, employees, and new tech. Simple solutions that are easy to use and keep you focused on what matters. Zest is built to turn your customers into raving fans. And remember, it's growth through service delivery. With Zest, you will not have any balls dropping, and you'll be able to grow through the exceptional service that you give your clients. Now I'm going to swing it over to Chad to actually take you through the product and the actual demo.
All right, thank you, Bobby. I'm going to walk through the key features of Zest. In this demo, we're going to highlight what sets Zest apart from other PSAs and ticketing systems. So on the screen here, we can already see the two most unique features of Zest, the work feed and the Dashbar. So we'll start with the Dashbar. Here at the top of the screen, we have distilled the key performance indicators that MSPs need to track into 6 color-coded Dashbar gauges. Each of these gauges is color-coded. Green is good, yellow is a warning, and red means you failed a business process. And all of these gauges are clickable. If I click in here to the new tickets gauge, I can see that it's yellow because there's a new ticket that needs dispatched. And I can see I only have 4 minutes left to dispatch it before we fail first response, and this gauge turns red. So very quickly we can go into a ticket. Everything in Zest is very streamlined. We're going to assign this to a resource. We're going to let the customer know we have their ticket. And just like that, we have taken care of that gauge and we're back to green. We also track overdue tickets, overdue tasks. So if there's anything that was scheduled and doesn't get handled appropriately, it'll bring up a warning. SLA health and average urgency to make sure tickets are done in a timely manner. And our secret sauce, customer health. It tracks the proactive relationship you should have with your customer to really grow through service delivery. Once you know how these gauges work, you can keep this minimized. And what's great about the Dashbar is it is always visible in Zest. It doesn't matter where you are in the system. You'll always notice if one of these gauges isn't green, and you can click on it and go take care of what's causing a problem. The next unique feature we have is the work feed. The Dashbar lets you track the company as a whole. The work feed is focused to each individual, and it simply shows what everybody should be working on and the order they should work on it. So here on the work feed, we can see that there's an overdue item. It's red right at the top. It's impossible to miss. If we click into this, we'll see that this was a ticket that was scheduled to be worked at a specific time. We can put this ticket in progress, and you can see as soon as we're working on this ticket, that gauge that was letting everybody know a ticket had gone overdue, it goes to green. So it encourages everybody to stay on task. When we're done working on this ticket, we can resolve it, let the customer know it's taken care of. Optionally, we can put our time in. Zest is fantastic with time tracking. And just like that, we're back to our work feed, and now we have nothing overdue and we can move on to our next tickets. The work feed automatically shows you the tickets you should be working on and the order you should work on them in. You only see the next 3 tickets that you should work on, and they're sorted by our unique score called urgency. This is going to make sure that you don't have to cherry pick tickets, that there's no question about what's most important to work on next. What you should be working on is automatically put to the top of your work feed. And by simply working through the work feed, everybody can be on task and get things done as efficiently as possible and keep your customers as happy as possible. While we look at the work feed, it's a good time to point out everything in Zest is mobile friendly. Zest is built from the ground up on a modern web UI framework that allows it to scale automatically to whatever screen size you're using it on. So even on mobile, you're going to be able to use the Dashbar and the work feed to track your work and track your time. Another area that we put a lot of work in on Zest is time entry. In Zest, you can keep time anywhere and everywhere. You're prompted to put your time in as you're working through your tickets using this universal timer on the right. You can also create a time entry at any point for anything you're doing, and you can associate that time entry with a ticket, a task, a project task, Or you can simply put a time entry in with just customer information and the type of work you're doing. That means you can track everything you do for your MSP. 100% time tracking is native to the product, and it's all visible on the timesheet where you can visually see your day, and you can fill in any gaps by simply clicking and dragging. And once you put a time entry in, you can pick the type of work the time entry was for. In this case, we can do an internal meeting for recording this demo. And just like that, everybody can track 100% of their time. So by tracking your time and tracking all the information natively, it allows us to put in great reports right out of the box. Zest comes with a suite of reports that show you the information you really need. Our service queue report allows you to track your performance in each queue of work over time. You can track how many break-fix tickets you're doing compared to procurement items. You can track your first response and your resolution SLAs, and you can really keep tabs on how you're doing week to week and month to month. Technician performance has great reporting for tracking your team. You can track tickets closed per tech and the average time it takes each tech to close a ticket. And a unique one we have is value time per tech. You can put in the types of work a technician should be working on and see what percentage of their total time goes towards that to make sure everybody is working in an appropriate area. And then one we're very proud of is customer performance. This lets you track the really difficult to get metric that is so important. How many tickets per endpoint and hours of work per endpoint are you doing for your different customers? So you can make apples to apples comparisons and see if there's any customers who are utilizing your service more than you would expect for their size. And finally, we like to highlight in Zest the integrations we have available. With Zest, we integrate with QuickBooks and Xero to take care of all your invoicing and accounting. You can invoice for contracts, monthly services you resell, projects, and also for product and procurement. We integrate with Level and Ninja directly for RMM, so you can import your devices and you can create tickets automatically from alerts in those systems. Outlook and Google Calendars for showing the calendar events you've scheduled in Zest right on your native calendar. With Outlook integration, you can also point it to an Exchange Online mailbox for sending and receiving your tickets from Zest. And Hoodoo and IT Glue are upcoming integrations for documentation. Over time, we'll be adding more integrations and also an open API so you can integrate with any product you want to. So those are the highlight features of Zest. What sets us apart is our simplicity. It's very easy to get set up with Zest. Onboarding typically only takes about an hour and you're up and running. Affordability, Zest has no contracts. You simply pay per month per user, cancel anytime if it's not working for you. And importantly, the biggest value you can get from Zest is this Dashbar. Keeping it all green means you are providing exceptional IT service and you're going to grow through service delivery. Another thing you can do in Zest is track and manage all of your IT projects. So just like with tickets, you can track everything you need to do inside of a project, even if it has multiple steps and requires multiple people to work on it. In the project, you can quote your time, you can quote your materials, and you can build your project plan with phases and tasks, assign each task to the resource who needs to work on it, and track all of that so you can see your estimated hours, your total hours, and make sure you're on track with your projects.